comes from Africa. We're all African Americans, but no one wants to hear that. But if you're talking about culture, a Puerto Rican will not relate culturally because they're eating mofongo, they're eating arroz con pollo. I speak Spanish fluently. It's the culture that's different. The color of skin can be every shade of brown. But you gotta understand the culture to understand the people. Do you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that's what is the thing. So sometimes when someone says African American, it's because they don't have another thing to call from. They don't, you see what I'm saying? Exactly. And everybody wants that.
That's why Jesse Jackson was successful in pushing that through, because there was a void there.
The void.
And he did drop the,
Yeah.
because of the.
Yeah, so it's sad. It's not, it's a disease, part of the disease.
But don't you agree that you are an American? Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And if you're in Thailand,
Mhm.
and they say, are you an American? Are you Puerto Rican?
Mhm.
Are you, and I don't know if you say this, I doubt it, I'm African American.
I would say Barbadian.
Okay, that's fine. But I think the term African American really continues to separate
I agree.
this
Yes,
country.
yes,
We're
I
American,
absolutely
and all of
agree.
us in here have different bloodlines.
But again, I think education, it's a one-on-one missionary work. Because everyone I know that claims that with anger, there's something behind that anger. There's voids, there's things missing, there's hurt, there's damage, there's anger that has passed down for generations.
Yeah.
Like she said, this anger has hurt everybody. My stepdad was white Special Forces. You talk about an angry man, whoa, nobody could. The things that he did and the things that he saw, and you can relate to that. Him and my mom look like night and day. But the thing is, the anger, the hurt, the things that are missing is not color related, it's history related.
It's history.
So that's where we need to teach each other, history, one-on-one. Not say, it bothers me when people say the Democrats and Republican, because I know there's people that are uneducated in every political venue, and they, whatever they call themselves, conservative, Republican, it doesn't matter to me. They're educated or they're not, as far as their history, my history, our history. So if we teach our history, we can get rid of those labels.
Right.
Period.
Are we okay for time? Because I'm just kind of
Yeah,
rolling.
let them ask the question.
Okay.
My hesitation would be to approach someone and say, like, if you were to say, what's your family background? I would say, oh, well, originally Scotland, England, Sweden, whatever.
Right.
Is that offensive to approach someone and say, if we would like to move past the African American name, is that offensive to say, where does your family originally come from? Like, I have good friends who would say, oh, my family came out of Louisiana or whatever.
Right,
I mean, is
right.
that a helpful thing
So let
to
people-
ask, or is that just creating more of a problem?
No, because some of us, some people, not me, but some people don't know, and they'll tell you. I
Okay.
don't know.
But just simply saying, hey, where's your family come from? That wouldn't be.
Where are
considered.
people from?
Well, I don't know that it phrase it that way.
I think that's, I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Maybe I shouldn't talk, because I don't know. Because I'm the millennial generation. I'm 25, and I think we're hitting a boat where it's like, why does it matter?
And that's another thing.
Like, I think that's what hit me when I went to BYU, and my teacher had the nerve, the audacity to ask me. He said, where did you originate from? I said, my mother's womb, and you?
BYU is food. It is now, right?
Because what are they getting at when they
I
say,
mean,
where are you from?
Where are the, like, what are you from?
Well, sometimes people don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And that has been part of the division as well. We have become so sensitive, and we have become even hypersensitive, where we can't even have a normal conversation with one another because we're afraid of offending. And sometimes, you know what, some folks just gonna be offended. It's just gonna be part of the working through. Yes, ma'am.
I understand what you're saying though, and I think we're all kind of talking about different things.
Mhm.
Everyone in this room, I mean, the United States is a fairly young country.
Agreed.
And we've all come from other places. Our ancestors are from other places. But when you're in a foreign country, I travel a lot. I wouldn't go into the dialogue that, well, I've got Scottish and German, and because
Well, no,
that's not who I
Americans-
am. I am an American. I was born in the US. My parents were born in the US. I mean, I don't go back into my grandparents came on the boat,
Well, that was
because
relative to his
I
question.
am an American.
Yeah. Yeah, American,
And
if people give
so
the right
if
arm to
someone
say, "I'm
asks
American."
me, when I'm in a foreign country, I'm not gonna go through, my ancestors, unless they ask. If they say, where did then, I'd share that. But if someone asks me, where are you from? I'm an American. I'm from the United States
You
of
better say that or you
America.
might be dead, because
I have a question over here.
You've heard of the term being in the military, false flag.
Yes.
That's what comes to my mind when I think of Jesse Jackson making that statement, because it's divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And it's keeping us separate, it's not unifying. So
Yeah,
the
we
only
need to
difference
recognize
is,
it.
are we unifying on something or are we dividing?
Yeah.
And I think that that is a false flag. It's something else to talk about,
Mhm.
something else to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
to divide us and to take us away from the real issues and to look at things that do unite us.
Yeah.
I think that's what the focus needs to be, what unites us.
And I will say, let me piggyback on that and say, there is something that does unite us, that can unite us, and it is the fact that there was a war fought on American soil in order to make the Constitution true. It has never happened anyplace else on this planet. We can unite on the memory of the sacrifice of those young men and boys that died in order to make sure that this country remained true to its covenants with God. That is something to unite upon. And to allow someone else to come in from another country or another place and disassemble that, even with the best of intentions, is absolutely unacceptable. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I was curious about this because, you're challenging a narrative, a very powerful political narrative and a very powerful social narrative,
Mm-hmm.
which is a dangerous thing. How is
I
that?
live for danger.
I'm sure the Air Force got that for you. But how's that playing out for people that are completely bought into that for their own purposes, whatever? How are you seeing that when you go challenge this?
I will go back to what I have always said about truth. Truth doesn't need to be defended. Truth is what it is. Truth can stand on its own. The people, we very often think that we have to convince people who have bought into the narrative that what we say is true. As far as I'm concerned, they're irrelevant. If you've bought into the narrative, hook, line, and sinker, and if what I'm saying to you does not ring true with you, you ain't ready. You are just not ready. But there are people out there who don't speak. Or there are those people who are out there that are waiting to hear what we're talking about tonight. And those are the people that I believe will rise up because it resonates with them. We can take over the narrative on race in America just by being truthful. We can do that. And I know it sounds really small, but you and I both know that laws don't change people's hearts. But when a person chooses to change themselves and to learn and to absorb and to share, that is what changes things. That's what got our forefathers here in the first place. Every great thing starts small. And it all starts with the individual. You've got to put the onus back on yourself. I know that I could. Actually, that was a huge stumbling block for me. Especially when I was the only one in my family that did not vote for Barack Obama. What kind of cussing out you think I got? I live in China. So, but I will tell you that my principles have not changed, and because they haven't changed, and they don't change with the wind. I am solid on that, and that's another reason why it's so important to bring to put God at the center. Because He will magnify our efforts, because that's what He does. He will magnify our efforts. And that's why that's not optional. But yeah, they're irrelevant. Yes, ma'am.
You know, Robin, you were saying that the other side is very organized. And they are. They're organized to the point that their opinions are popular. And that is what is so dangerous, because then there's a lot of people that want to be on the winning side and on the popular side, and they won't even understand, the facts or the issues.
Yeah.
But they just join along
Mob
because
rules.
it's popular,
Yeah.
And so I think by you doing what you're doing, and other people like you doing what you're doing, it helps, bring out this side, helps unite this side.
Yeah.
And then when and as we grow this side, then it'll be harder to just be on the other side because it's popular.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, popularity does, what is popularity? It's fleeting. It's fleeting. It holds no water. It falls apart under scrutiny. Every time.
Right.
Every time. Are we,
I want to just piggyback real quick on something, because you've given us our sword and our shield, and I love that. There's something that Jackie mentioned that I think that a lot of, especially our younger generations, are missing, is that slavery in America was a drop in the bucket for slavery in the world. It was not to minimize what it was still wrong, it's still evil on any plane. But for some reason, America wears the badge of we had slaves, instead of the badge that we fought to free a race, or we fought to free people who were under that same, that's not taught in schools. When they're learning about slavery, it's American slavery, it was our evil, it was our.
that's right. And like it occurred in a vacuum as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what great tools that you have brought to us.
Yes.
Like, I feel so empowered from your black shield and the sword, and just being able to put it into words and be able to say, because half the time you feel like you're just,
Alone.
you're defending
Your
what
color.
you know is true, but it's not in the right verbiage, or it's
Right.
not in the right way.
Right.
But also that, why is America wearing this like a big bloody stain that we had slavery when we're the ones who fought and gave, the men and boys that
I
gave
can
their
tell you
lives.
one reason. And again, I'm always talking about we need to turn back to God. Dr.
Yeah.
Alveda King wrote an article about turning back to God, because we are one of the few nations, if not the only nation, that invokes God in our Constitution. And then we go and we do this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And, there are other countries out there, they're thugs and they know they're thugs, and they embrace their thuggism. We, on the other hand, invoke the name of God and then do whatever it is that we do, or don't address whatever it is, and we have unfinished business, things like that. It's almost as if we're afraid. That's why people can come in and bully us. No.
Well, it's not American shaming. It's American shaming.
It is
It's white
shaming.
shaming. It's all the
Yeah.
shaming.
It's one of his greatest
It's-
tools.
yeah, it's the
One of
shaming.
his greatest tools is shaming. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's not a single person in this room that cannot think of a shaming moment that stopped them from doing what they should have done. Yes,
I
ma'am.
just have one thing that stood out to me when you said that people want to be with the popular voice, the winning. I heard the winning. Just because you're popular doesn't mean you're winning. I think that's where we lost something along the way, because I'm very popular, but I've lost many battles. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to not associate popularity with winning. Because
Yeah.
no, I'm not picking on you. Because that's not the first time I've heard just somebody put, oh, well, Kim can get away with it because Kim's Kim is Kim. She's awesome. But it's like, no, Kim can't get away with it. Kim got to follow the laws just like everybody else. Nobody cares about what Kim does. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes we get like, well, no, it's not about standing with popular or the winning. It's about you having to stand alone sometimes.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Some people can't, and I feel really bad for those situations where some people can't. Some of us are very stronger than others, and that's what's so great, that we can strengthen each other together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some of us cannot be the light where we stand. Because there's not always gonna be light around us. But can you be the light in a room of darkness? Can I walk in and still show love to everybody, regardless of how you treat me or how you think I feel, because I grew up in foster care, your assumptions about me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You know nothing about me because you haven't asked.
Yeah.
So I think it's, can you be the light wherever you stand? It doesn't matter if you're popular. I'm super popular, I'm not even kidding. A lot of people know my name, but I have lost many battles.
But you fail forward,
Oh, yeah.
as we all should.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Stitch myself up. I'm just saying, I just messed it up.
Well, on that note, as time progresses, my thoughts begin to fly out of my head. It's a whole other conversation. It's something that I carry with me it's one of the things that I deal with, having gone to war. Most veterans have something that they have to deal with. I've been sick for 13 years. And when I got to Arizona, I was in a wheelchair, so I'm doing a lot better right now. But I still have issues as the night wears on, and I may think I'm saying something really deep, and it just sounds like, I don't know, a whole bunch of hooey to other people. And so I appreciate your patience. But let me close with this. It came back to me. You talk about the story of Joseph and how Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. And what happened was, when he came to the new land and he went through all of his stuff, being in prison, being falsely accused, and all that other stuff, he saved the very place that he was sold into slavery to. And hopefully I can get through this. I believe that that is true for the descendants of chattel slaves. I would like to say thank you to you